Welcome to the Sage Intacct product tour for organizations outgrowing Sage 50. I'm Bob Shago. I work in Sage Intacct product marketing. Today we're going to look at why Sage Intacct has made a big difference in the financial health of growing companies. We're going to do this by diving into the product and look at a few of the ways Sage Intacct brings visibility and productivity to the finance team. We aren't going to dive into every area of the product today, but rather stick to those things that are of general interest to most companies. If you're dealing with specialty areas like subscription contracts, project accounting, or inventory management, those are part of other specialized product tours. Today, we'll be looking at visibility through dashboards and reporting, flexibility through configuration, and the automation tools that let your team work more efficiently and stay in control. We'll also look at how Sage Intacct integration connects you to other services. Before we dive into the system demo, I'd like to set the stage with a little bit about why we're looking at these particular areas. As a growing company, you face challenges in finance. Many of these challenges can become a bottleneck to a growing company. Are you seeing growing numbers of transactions in both revenue and expenses? Are you finding the close and subsequent visibility taking longer and longer? Are you relying on Excel spreadsheets to report on key metrics? Throwing more people at the problem has its own challenges and often leads to less control over financials. We should be celebrating growth, but often the finance team is stuck cleaning up the messes created by growth. The reporting spreadsheets that worked so well when you were small become cumbersome and error-prone. Closing the books and using spreadsheets to get out end-of-period reports can take too many days or even weeks, and the reports are out of date as soon as they're complete. All of this leads to questionable decisions being made on old, questionable information. Your business has requirements and processes you need to follow. Manual workarounds and spreadsheets cost you time and accuracy. And approvals, where they exist, become a manually intensive game of find the manager. Continued growth in a competitive environment requires a nimble approach to finance. AgeMark Senior Living benefits from powerful reporting functionality in Sage Intacct. Using dimensions makes it easy to compare financial and operational data across departments or patient groups or whatever dimensions they choose. The finance team now produces hundreds of reports each month and tracks metrics that used to be impossible to track, like supplies across departments, supervisor hours versus assistant hours per resident, or resident costs compared to their level of care. They also cut their monthly close in half. Whole Family Health Center used the Sage Intacct built-in automation for huge time savings. They eliminated nearly 50 hours of manual accounting work each month, with the biggest time savings coming from reporting, where they saved around 20 hours a month. Managers and executives use their dashboards with up-to-the-minute data to quickly see the information they need without having to request it from the finance team. Whole Family Health Center also cut their close by 73% and is aiming for a continuous close by reconciling bank transactions and managing journal entries on a daily basis. Crossref is a global nonprofit publisher with about 5,000 scholar members. Before Sage Intacct, they couldn't identify services to add or remove based on profitability. The finance team was bogged down doing duplicate data entry and tedious Excel-based processes. With Sage Intacct, the leadership team no longer bases its product strategy on opinions. They now look at actual revenue, expense, and usage figures for each product. They make more informed choices about which services to add, cut, or maintain based on their profitability. The Monterey Peninsula Foundation was unable to report on which fundraisers were the most successful and efficient, plus they had a painful close. With Sage Intacct, not only did the accounting team see improvements in AP and reporting, but they slashed their monthly close by 40%, and overall efficiency gains resulted in annual savings of $80,000. As CTI grew to be the top business in its industry, Sage 50 was unable to handle their increased transaction volumes. Lack of cloud access was another issue. They had disconnected silos of data in multiple software applications, requiring duplicate data entry, including project management and time tracking. Now they've slashed the close by 30 hours per month, and software payback was less than 4 months. In today's demo, we're going to dive into some examples of the nimble approach made possible through the power of cloud computing. An ideal solution would include reporting that's built in and configurable by the accounting team without the help of IT. It should contain real-time metrics that help the company see where they're going each day and appropriate reports should be available for review by any manager or stakeholder without having to request information from the finance team. The system should be configurable by the accounting team to match their business requirements, and they should be able to reconfigure and align workflows, forms, and reports without help from IT. In purchasing, automated workflows make the process completely transparent, and approvals are automated as part of every purchase. Because finance serves as a hub for other business applications the company needs, it should be able to integrate those other systems to eliminate double data entry and other manual processes that often result in delays and errors. Let's go ahead and get started by diving into our first area of the product, built-in dashboards and reporting. Sabrina Rivera of Whole Family Health Center explained her reporting experience this way. We didn't have enough capability in Sage 50 to run reports the way we needed. We'd have to download to Excel and do a lot of manual work just to build one report. Now on Sage Intacct, we have improved overall accounting efficiency by 80% and eliminated nearly 50 hours of manual work each month. As we look at visibility and reporting, we'll start with built-in role-based dashboards and then look at how you dig deeper, as well as how you as a finance professional create unique reporting to exactly match the needs of your business. I'll show you how you can use dimensions to filter and regroup data into meaningful information. We'll also look at how we combine financial and operational information to gain strategic insight into the business. This is a dashboard. Dashboards are included as a standard module. Users add dashboards as needed and configure them to meet specific role, activity, or process needs. Let me point out some of the general items in this screen. With performance cards, I have a real-time view of summaries from groups of accounts. I could create other performance cards like this. Each of these performance cards shows a summation of an account group. For example, I can take all my expense accounts, roll them up into an account group, and display a snapshot here. Underneath the summary, I can see a comparison to a prior month, quarter, or year, giving me a performance trend at a glance. I can also compare it to a budget, something handy to have on a dashboard focused on, say, purchasing. These icons on the performance cards give me quick feedback on performance. We can also look at charts and graphs, like those on my dashboard. I can create additional charts and graphs and add them to the dashboard. My reports show amounts that I can drill down into right from the dashboard. I can click an amount here to see the summary behind the report. I can continue to click all the way back to the transactions that make up the report. Jumping over to another dashboard, I want to show you an example of a statistical account. Statistical accounts capture non-financial information like headcount, hours worked, square footage, or data usage. I can create a performance card that combines statistical information like hours with financial information like revenue. Combining statistical data and financial data gives us key metrics to see how the company is performing according to different criteria. So what is the impact of those visibility tools? Tyler Shockley from Courthouse Athletic Club said, "Before Sage Intacct, I spent 80% of my time just trying to get information into or out of our legacy system. Now that so much of our bookkeeping is automated, I spend around 60% of my time reporting, analyzing, and budgeting, and play a more strategic role of providing financial leadership and guidance for the direction of our business." Moving forward, a big part of flexibility is having the tools to grow the system as the company grows and being able to do that without constant requests from other departments or a consultant. Going back into my demo company, the first area of flexibility I want to show you is the ability to modify and manage reports. Here in the reporting center, where I can go to see all my reports, I'll go to a financial report. When I choose to edit a financial report, I'm taken to the financial report writer, where I have total control over the report. I can add columns, create calculated columns, break out the report by a dimension like department to see whatever I need to see to fit the report to my business needs. I can even control the look of the report when I run it online or export it to a PDF. I can create new reports, or I can duplicate and modify existing reports. All aspects of the report are handled through configuration, so there's no code to write or SQL queries to create. Every module, such as accounts payable open here, has all the configurability necessary to stay in control. I can decide which transaction templates to use, which dimensions are required, and so on. When it comes time to setting permissions, rather than an all or nothing approach, Sage Intacct uses a role-based approach with granular permissions. Within a role, I can set up permissions for a specific module and grant just the permissions that role would need. For instance, I might want to give someone permission to view or list certain records, but not create or delete them. The range of permissions differ by the types of data they apply to, so that I can perfectly match them to the accounting functions and controls of my company. Another area of flexibility that many companies take advantage of is the ability to create workflows in purchasing, order entry, and inventory management. For instance, in order entry, we can create transaction definitions and workflows to perfectly match the way we bring in orders. These allow us to control the movement of data from quote to order to shipper to invoice and even to returns. Through the transaction definition, I specify which transactions hit the general ledger and how they get recorded. I can create as many workflows as needed. I might have one workflow for retail orders and another for wholesale orders. After moving to Sage Intacct, Lisa Hart, Director of Finance at Crossref, said, "We've streamlined our financial process across the board, which saves about $45,000 in headcount each year, despite our 53% revenue growth and significant transaction volume increase since adopting Sage Intacct. More importantly, we've reduced potential errors and liability by having more accurate, reliable financial data about our business in Sage Intacct." Moving on to automation, I'm going to use purchasing as my example. As you might expect, purchasing follows similar workflows to those in order entry or inventory management. The automation and workflows I'm going to be walking through are similar to those found in other areas of the financial system. We have an overview map that shows our workflow from requisition to purchase orders, receivers, and vendor invoices. I'll go ahead and create a purchase order. I'm just going to click on the purchase order icon to create this new purchase order. Know that if your main job revolves around purchasing, you can set this map as your home page at login. Our example company needs more stock, so I'm going to create a PO to buy items from Defender USA. I'm going to purchase 10 more of these Defender systems. I can see my extended price. As I create additional line items, the system will keep giving me line items to enter them on. Just like in order entry, I see the default vendor contacts and all the different controls. My header shows all the information from this transaction so far, with all my information entered. I'll post this purchase order. Some days go by and I receive the order from the vendor. Now I go to the purchase order and convert it to a receiver. Come to find out, the vendor's low on quantity. On my receiver, I note that I received 8 of these. I don't want to pay for 10 when I only got 8. With the receiver updated, I'm going to post it. I can now convert this receiver to a vendor invoice. I see that everything is in here the way I expected it to be. I can see the vendor document number and post that with the vendor invoice. Now I have the vendor invoice posted in purchasing, but it did something else. It went over to accounts payable and it created a bill. So now if I go look at my bills in accounts payable, I see that I have this new bill to Defender USA. I can choose the bill and see everything that's on it. Now it's keeping track of account and amount rather than item and quantity. This is going to fall nicely into my chart of accounts and hit the general ledger. I've still got all the information about the bill, and from here I can select bills to pay and move my payment process forward. On the back end, where I need to distribute indirect costs or revenues across departments, locations, or some other dimension, like a product or a project, allocations let me set up automated allocation journal entries to properly allocate periodic expenses and revenues that run automatically. With these allocations set up and running, I get a clear view of the true performance of my organization without having to run complex calculations in spreadsheets. Let's take a look at bills to pay. I have some options to provide me with both automation and controls. Sage Intacct's built-in approval processes let me set approval requirements on bills waiting to be paid. I can even set up approvals on a requisition before the purchase process gets too far down the road. Approval can be set by dollar amount, by department, or by individual approvers. You can choose to have one approver at a certain dollar amount and then 2 or 3 approvers at a higher dollar amount. Approval notices get sent out to the approvers automatically, and they can approve with a mobile device. And you're not left playing find the manager to get purchases approved. Let's look at one more area of visibility, knowing our actual cash position. With automated bank reconciliation connected to thousands of banks worldwide, we can reconcile daily and always know where our cash stands. This is part of Sage Intacct's push for real-time visibility through continual close. We've gone through a number of use cases today, but here are some additional ways customers have been able to realize their value through automation with Sage Intacct. The key takeaway here is that companies moving to Sage Intacct see a huge amount of their return on investment from the hours and even days saved in their financial processes. We really do want to be our customers' partner for the life of their business. Part of that is being able to grow with them by integrating with solutions that change as their needs change. With our open APIs, you can integrate with any system that has integration capabilities. You can also choose from dozens of services in the Sage Intacct marketplace, covering CRM like Salesforce, payment services like check, ACH, and card payments, payroll, point of sale, warehouse management, and much more. Let's see, I'll bring up a demo company here that's associated with a Salesforce instance. I'll also bring up the associated Salesforce instance. You may know that in Salesforce, we create opportunities. This opportunity represents an XYZ shoes order, and it shows the product that I'm selling. It also shows sales orders and a sales invoice created from the opportunity. There's back and forth communication. When I create an opportunity, I simply choose Create Sales Invoice or Create Sales Order, and Salesforce sends the transaction over to Sage Intacct. In Sage Intacct, in this order entry transaction list, I can see that I have this XYZ shoes order. I can tell by the reference number that this is from the opportunity in Salesforce. I can also see all the information inside the order entry system. This integration allows salespeople to work in Salesforce and finance to work in Sage Intacct. So why consider Sage Intacct? Well, we're the right partner to help in your success. We're the leader in innovation, recognized as a visionary leader by industry analysts like Gartner and IDC. We're the undisputed leader in customer satisfaction, as evidenced by our ratings in G2 and our top-rated designation from TrustRadius. We're the first and only preferred provider of the AI CPA, the only vendor to have earned this endorsement. And we're a complementary, non-competitive solution to Salesforce and have a strong partnership and integration with them. Thank you for spending time with me today. I hope you saw some things that align with where your financial team is going. We'd love to hear from you and even do a demo on how Sage Intacct can meet your specific needs. Being part of a Sage family means that your success and growth is at the core of everything we do. Whenever you're ready, whether that's 3, 6, or 12 months from now, we're here to help. We believe the right financial management system can help finance leaders drive their organization forward in today's fast-changing environment and deliver clear, measurable results. If you want to learn more about Sage Intacct, you can try our 30-day trial, attend additional webinars, follow us on Twitter, or connect with us on Facebook, or contact us directly. I hope you'll let us show you how Sage Intacct can help you make a big difference in your organization. Thank you.